According to the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's inflation rate exceeded 10% for the first time in 3.5 years, as the Central Bank of Nigeria increased the interest rate to 12%. Financial experts say Nigeria's economy is facing its worst economic crisis in decades, fueled by the collapse in crude price, which has slashed government revenues, weakened the currency, and caused growth to slow down. Following the National Economic Council retreat, I had a discussion with an economist on this week's edition of the programme. Hello there, thank you for joining me on the programme. I'm Yemisi Paye. The International Monetary Fund rates Nigeria's economy as the largest in Africa and the 21st largest economy in the world in terms of nominal gross domestic product. However, experts have argued that the economy is now facing serious challenges considering the price of crude oil and the weakened naira. In the interview segment, we look at the state of the economy. But up ahead, the federal government and the 36 states of the Federation have resolved to work together to tackle the challenges of the economy. Take a listen. Nigeria's 36 state governors and some members of the Federal Executive Council constitute the membership of the National Economic Council. Each of the governors came with their commissioners of finance as they set aside party differences and sat side by side to discuss ways to tackle the nation's economic challenges. Declaring the retreat open, President Muhammadu Buhari listed 5 key sectors that must be addressed in the quest to revive the economy.
My information, the issues worrying the public today are rising food prices, such as maize, corn, rice, and gari. Lack of visible impact of government presence on agriculture. It grieves me that so many manufacturing industries in the country today are groaning and frustrated because of lack of foreign exchange to import raw materials and spare parts. The most frequent public concerns brought to my attention are 3-pronged. 1, severe shortage of housing. 2, high rents, and 3, unaffordable prices for prospective buyers, especially middle and low-income earners. We must, and by the grace of God, we will put things right. In the 3 years left for this administration, we have given ourselves the target of 10,000 megawatts distributable power. In 2016 alone, we intend to add 2,000 megawatts to the national grid.
How do we ensure self-sustenance in rice, oil palm, or wheat, which are significant drains on our foreign reserves? How can the state maximize the export potential in agriculture and solid minerals? How about tax revenues? What are the best practices in efficient collection of taxes? How about reducing the cost of governance? What are the best policies?
The retreat provides an opportunity for state governors to partner with the federal government to bridge the gap that will bring a better life for Nigerians.
As state governors, we are committed to closing the fiscal gap by raising our internal generated revenue on agriculture and solid mineral.
The meeting went into a closed session as the council members discussed several thematic areas. They included agriculture and solid minerals, investment, industrialization and enabling monetary policies, infrastructure and services, education and job creation, revenue generation and fiscal stability. The meeting had as its theme Nigerian states' multiple centers of prosperity and explored ways to respond to the nation's current economic crisis. The meeting reached the following agreements: concerted and consistent efforts to diversify revenue sources, expand compliance on VAT, adopting a gradual plan for rate increase, increased expenditure through borrowing, which should be invested in infrastructure, Federal and state governments to focus on fiscal responsibility as a critical element in macroeconomic balance. Increase of investment in infrastructure through public-private partnerships. Develop financial inclusion strategies to cater for the poor and vulnerable population. Maintain a minimum level of capital expenditure of 30% in the budget.
We resolve to set national targets for self-sufficiency in a number of identified crops. In particular, we resolve to work together to make sure that by the end of this year, we will be self-sufficient in tomato paste.
Federal and state governments to work collaboratively to ensure sustainability of the school feeding and other social protection programs.
The Council established 2 committees, one of them headed by the Vice President to monitor the full implementation of the resolutions from the retreat, and the other to provide a progress report on the implementation.